Peace and blessings, world, and welcome to another edition of Fresh Perspective, where we give you a fresh view on this week's hot topics. And today is Black Mamba Day, Jelly Bean Day, Kobe Bryant Day. But before we go into that, I'm your host, Irvin Hawkins. I'd like to start off with one of our basketball aficionados, Mr. Denzel Chappelle, the young and talented. How you feeling today, brother?
I'm all right, man. I can't complain. It's a little chilly out here in sunny California, but I'm all right.
Hey, man, but they say it never rains. But off to my man, the blueprint, Mr. Jeremy Flanagan. I know you excited about today. How you feel?
Oh man, it's a bittersweet moment today, getting to see my favorite basketball player have two jerseys, being retired and seeing him again, on the court, man. Seeing him again on the court is just, I don't know, it just does something to me.
Okay. Then we have, last but not least, great orator and tactician, Mr. DB. Talk to me.
Hey man, tonight is a special night for basketball fans all over the world. For my generation, I happen to be 30 years old, and the greatest basketball player that I've ever seen play the game from the beginning of his career to the end. If we ain't talking Allen Iverson, LeBron James, it's only one, and that's Kobe Bryant for me.
Okay. So I'm gonna start with Jeremy. I know this is your favorite basketball player of all time. So talk to me, man. What does this mean? Like, how special is this to have not one but two numbers retired on the same day?
Well, for one, I think it's definitely most deserving, um, given the fact that when he was, you know, the number 8 Kobe, he gave us everything it was from the flashy dunks to you know the swag, everything. We got that in number 8, and we got that killer assassin when he turned 2-4. To me, I just thought he was a killer assassin when he turned 2-4, and just seeing him being able to leave the game in a way that I feel as though is the right way. Um, I think it's most deserving, and I'm just happy. I'm glad I was able to uh, watch Kobe do his thing every day in, day out, hands down, no excuses. He gave it 110%, whether it was practice or in a game, whatever it was. He always was, to me, the best on the court, and I mean, I just can't imagine, the league without him, even though it's happening now. But I mean, I'm still gravitating towards, who's going to be that next guy that'll be able to carry the torch for me, given the fact that I was able to see a guy in Kobe put in that work. And I'm just happy and honored, getting the opportunity to see this happen, because it never happened before. I mean, it didn't
Okay,
happen with Jordan
okay,
with 45 or 23. You know what I mean? So it's happening with number 8 and number 2, 4.
okay,
Don't be
okay.
It's
disrespectful.
deserved.
Don't be
Well, yeah.
Not
disrespectful.
being
And
disrespectful,
matter of
man. It's
fact,
not being
Don't you dare
disrespectful.
be
It's facts, man. I'm
disrespectful.
stating facts.
Don't
matter
be
of fact, I
I'm
was
disrespectful.
going to
stating
go. I was
facts.
going to go to Courtney
All I'm
on
doing is
that one.
stating facts.
Yeah, Courtney, how do you
Stating
how do you feel
facts.
about the Mamba getting two numbers
Shout out to Kobe.
retired
He
on the
deserved to
same
get
day?
two. Shout out to Kobe. He deserved to get two numbers retired because he played with two different numbers and 10 different years apiece for the Los Angeles Lakers. That's what's up. That I respect the man. Third greatest shooting guard ever. He deserves to have his two numbers retired. But Jeremy, to talk about Mike not getting 45, he played for it for maybe less than 6 months. Watch your tone, young boy. He
Hey,
paused because he couldn't.
all I'm
No, no, no,
stating
no,
is
no, no, no,
facts.
no, 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 no. He was 24
Facts.
because he couldn't be 23. Make sure you be respectful about that. Don't you dare.
Facts.
Don't you dare. There's a reason he went to 24 because he wanted to be
No, he
23.
didn't want
So
23. No, he didn't. He wanted to
he wanted
be.
to be better
He
than
wanted
23, but
24.
he came up one short. He came up one short. He only got one more in a number, not in rings, not in accomplishments. Be respectful when you talk about that man. All right.
Keep
Cool.
going, man. If that's all you got,
But shout out to Kobe. He did
he's
what he
better
had
than
to
Jordan.
do. He did. Boy, stop. Now,
Okay.
I would be respectful of Kobe. Kobe's one of the greatest. 20 years in, nobody could do it like him offensively. I'm gonna give him all nothing but respect today. I'm not even gonna go at him with Jeremy past comment. I'm gonna say all hell due to the Mamba. I respect you. Appreciate everything you did for the game, bro.
Okay. Okay. DB, talk to me. Let's talk about Jelly Bean, man.
Long live Jelly Bean. But for those who don't understand, I think Kobe Bryant is the epitome of what it looks like when talent and hard work meet. The guy work ethic was unparalleled. We haven't seen anybody put the time into the craft of basketball the way Kobe Bryant has. A knock on him is that he looked like Michael Jordan, looked like his son, um, from the walk, from the moves, from the swagger, and I think that's one of the main reasons why Kobe Bryant don't get the real respect that he deserves. People forget that he was the first one to come out of high school and live up to the hype of being a high school player and open the door for other players such as Amari Stoudemire and LeBron James. He made it possible for them to be recognized as high school phenoms and high school
You
stars.
being disrespectful too. You and Jeremy gonna be respectful. Y'all played on the same football team, and I say y'all got the same respect levels.
What you mean? Who am I
It's
being
a dude. It's a
disrespectful
dude.
to?
It's a dude named the Big Ticket, a high schooler.
I like Big Ticket, bro, but let's be clear. The only reason why Big Ticket came out of high school was because he couldn't make the grades. He had no other choice.
Excuse me.
He
Did he
was going
come
to
out of high
college, bro.
school?
He
We
couldn't
didn't
make.
ask you. We didn't ask you why
Hey,
he came out. No, 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 no.
I
No.
respect the Big
I didn't
Ticket,
ask you
but
why
he
he
ain't
came
Kobe.
out.
I respect the
I
Big
didn't
Ticket,
ask
but he
you.
ain't Kobe. Stop playing with me.
I didn't
He ain't
ask
Kobe.
you. No, you said he paved the way for the people after him. I'm gonna ask you again. You outside of the dude who did it before him years prior, the first dude that made it okay was a Big Ticket. Don't be disrespectful and act like he
No,
didn't make it
actually, the
okay.
first dude that made it okay was Moses Malone, sir.
Again, I said outside of the dude who did a year prior. Why are you trying to
Uh-huh.
correct me? I said the dude.
Yeah.
Nobody did it after Moses, brother.
But you-
KG did it first, made it okay in the new era of the '90s,
respect,
and then Kobe.
I respect the Big Ticket. That's all well and good, but
Did he do it before Kobe? Yes or no?
everybody on this panel know better. He only did it
I
because
didn't
he was
say
1 year
I
older
didn't
in
say he was
age.
compared to.
Came out his mom's vagina 1 year earlier than Kobe. Let's just
Did he
stop
do
it
it
there.
before him? Yes or no?
Yeah, bro, he did.
Was he given the name Big Ticket like the Mamba made his name up, or did he make his name the Big Ticket? Yes or no?
He became the Mamba after he was a 3-time champion. Yes, sir.
So he made
So
himself the
before
Mamba.
before
They
Mamba,
gave.
before a Mamba, and before a ticket, there was a champion and an
No, no, no,
athlete.
no, 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 no. The Big Ticket was named the Big Ticket when he came out.
No, he was not.
Yes, he was.
His name,
First year he came.
his
Boy,
name,
stop! I'm not even gonna have this
his
discussion with
name
you
was
right
Kevin
now.
Garnett. When he had the part in his head, Kevin Garnett.
So what was he with Starberry then? So only Starberry had the nickname, not him.
Yeah, his name was Kevin Garnett.
So you telling me he did not have a nickname with Marbury?
No,
Okay,
KG. That was
okay. I know Kobe gave himself that name. I know somebody gave KG his name, like
yeah,
how you supposed to get it. Oh, all right.
that's fine. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted by somebody who want to bring up Kevin Garnett in the same sentences as Kobe Bryant, I wish it was somebody like Tim Duncan, and I would have really acknowledged it. And I love KG, my favorite power forward of all time, but it's still not in the same breath as Jelly Bean. Anyway, um, Kobe Bryant deserves both number retired. He was dominant in both numbers. Um, he was able
I
to
need you.
evolve. He was able to evolve into a great player in 24. My favorite player was 8, of course, because of the killer, 81 points in the game. I just became a fan of Kobe Bryant when he wore number 8. 24 was just a different level for him, a different point in life. He had to become a leader. He had to overcome a lot of personal issues. He had to overcome getting beat up times. He had to overcome losing Shaq. He had to overcome a lot, and he proved himself to be one of the all time greats in that number. So, for that being said, I'm very proud to have witnessed uh, Kobe Bryant be dominant in the game of basketball, and that's not belittling anybody else. So for those who on the panel feel like I offended somebody, that's not the intent. Um, I respect everybody who's played the game before and after Kobe, but tonight is about Kobe, and I feel like nobody better than Kobe but Jordan. That's just it. Not gonna change that.
Okay. Well, we're talking about, Kobe Bryant and his greatness, and we're also talking about people who are continually playing the game. And it's another guy out there in the league right now with a similar killer instinct. I won't say he has that killer instinct in the playoffs yet. He hasn't won me over in that aspect yet. But I believe the team has 15 straight wins. I'm talking about them Houston Rockets. Now, I know until James Harden has the type of success in the playoffs that he has in the regular season, that he can even be spoken about as great. But I mean, what's going on with Houston, man? Why are they winning so many games? Talk to me.
Who you want to go first?
I want you to go first because I know
Okay.
this is with me
Well,
and you
we've been
talk
a
about this
witness.
all the time.
Well, we've been a witness of Mike D'Antoni and what he can get done, and that offense and that system. It's a regular season system. It's built to score a lot of points. It's built to score a lot of points and win a lot of games. But as long as Mike D'Antoni's the coach in the playoff series, it's all about lineups, adjustments, and changing the way you play. You have to beat a team 4 times, 4 different ways, and that's one thing that Houston and Mike D'Antoni is going to always struggle with. They are one trick pony. They shoot a whole bunch of threes. There's no post game. There's no mid range game. If that jump shot not falling, it's going to be tough for them to get a win. And until they get somebody who can get them a bucket outside of a jump shot, or depending on the refs to drive the ball hard to the lane and get a foul, they're not going to be able to get to the next level unless somebody knock Golden State off for them. Then if Golden State ain't in the way, then that's a totally different discussion. But
Okay,
even,
and
but
Jeremy,
even but even even if Golden State is out the way and they play somebody like San Antonio or something like that, San Antonio is going to get them in a series just based off coaching and execution. That's just my personal opinion.
okay, and D Burks always talks about coaching matters, but blueprint. Speaking on Mike D'Antoni, man, he just hasn't been able to get it done in the playoffs. So is it just D'Antoni's system is not a championship system, or he just hasn't had the right players yet?
Well, since we talking about Mike D'Antoni, he's the reason why Kobe Bryant is retiring right now. So when we talk about Mike D'Antoni and his system, it's a really good system. Like DB said, piggyback off of what he said, it's a good regular season system. You score a lot of points. If your jump shot is falling, they spread the floor very well. You're doing pretty good. Like tonight, what Chris Paul almost had, what a triple double. James Harden dropped 26. You had Trevor Ariza playing over 40 plus minutes tonight. They're just playing really good basketball. And in Houston, like I said, and James Harden, like we've all talked about on the panel and talked about on the show, we want to see him, do it in the playoffs when it matters most. And execution, like DB was talking about, I think that's the main key word is execution. In the playoffs, and coaching is definitely going to play a part. Mike D'Antoni, I just think personally, like he can't coach when it comes to playoff basketball.
Okay, okay, young talented. I know you're real critical about the game. It's like you watch the game with different eyes sometimes. I feel. I need you to go deep on. Is Houston really a threat?
Nope, Houston is not a threat until they find a assistant coach that is defensive minded. Their system offensively is not an issue. They run pretty damn much what Golden State runs. Actually, Golden State is running their offense. The originator is in Houston. The second coming of is in Golden State. The only difference is in Golden State, they have a defensive mindset, and they usually always have an assistant sitting right next to Steve Kerr who's going to uh, force that defensive mindset, make sure it's there, make sure when they're not on it, they get on top of it. And that's the difference between Mike D'Antoni and basically Golden State. Do they have the team? Yeah. I don't believe in James Harden in the playoffs because I think he turns the basketball over. Chris Paul solid, but until Paul understands that he's gonna have to average 25 and 12 for him to get anywhere he wants to be in the NBA, I don't think he's gonna win anything. So it's ironic that I'm saying that one got to score more, and one got to defend more or protect the ball more, but that's pretty much what's going on with Houston. Houston is gonna have to get
Okay,
superstar
okay,
play out of both superstars, and they're gonna have to defend on both ends of the court. I mean, they're gonna have to defend on the other side of that court. They jack up way too many threes to not play good enough defensively, and that by them jacking up threes, your legs get tired in the playoffs, 7 game series, up and down, a lot of banging, a lot of bruising that take a toll on your body. I still don't see them as going to the rim enough. I still see them as just a bunch of jump shooters, just chucking it up there. I think that'll come back and hurt them against somebody like Golden State, who, yeah, they shoot threes, but they don't mind getting to the rim and getting quick, easy buckets as well.
okay. And very, very good points. Very good points. But I'll ask you this. Per everybody's thought process, everybody thinks it's going to be Cleveland, Golden State once again. Who do you see as a threat? Who is the actual threat, since it's not Houston, to walk into that championship on the Western Conference side, other than Golden State?
The only threat, if they could get their thing together, the only threat on the Western Conference side, and this is going to shock a lot of people, is Minnesota. Minnesota's the only actual
Wow.
team in the end with 10 complete bodies, playoff experience, youth, athleticism, defense, and players at each spot that can actually challenge Golden State to get in over there. Now, can they turn it around defensively and play as a unit? Can all of their players grow up enough? I don't know. I think they'll take Golden State 7 right now. I think they're a year away. But if anybody could, you know, turn that corner. Oh, no. And I can't say anybody. Oklahoma as well.
No, I was
Oklahoma got to
yeah.
turn that corner. That Oklahoma got to turn that corner as well. Actually, let me take that back and say Oklahoma is the real threat to Golden State if they could get their bench to be consistent. But the sleeper is Minnesota. Minnesota got
Okay.
the most bodies.
Okay, DB. I'm a little surprised you said Oklahoma, but DB, who do you think the actual threat? Is it Houston, or is it one of the teams that Young Talent talked about?
Well, first off, I got to piggyback on one thing Courtney had said when he had broke down the analysis between the differences between Houston and Golden State. But I would like to go a little deeper. Um, both teams are running a similar offense, but I think Golden State's offense is a little bit better based on the personnel that they have and their ability to interchange the positions on the fly. James Harden and Chris Paul pretty much have to handle the ball. Kevin Durant and the two top ball, well, they actually have three ball handlers. So you have Kevin Durant rim running and Draymond Green bringing the ball up the court, and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry running the wings, opposed to when you got Houston. When they get the rebound, one of the guards got to come to the ball. There's no take off running. One of them got to come get the ball to initiate the offense. I think that's one of the things that's different. Also, I think too that Mike D'Antoni in the half court, their half court sets are nowhere near as crisp as Golden State when they go into their secondary offense. But make no mistake about it, both teams, their initial offense is very, very similar. But I think Golden State, basically due to the personnel, they go to another level. That if the Rockets had better personnel, I think they can go to another level in their offense. But just really thinking about what Courtney just said, I do think that Minnesota, outside of the Jeff Teague matchup, even though Jeff Teague is very solid at the point guard position, I would still like to see Minnesota if they had Rubio with this team. But because Rubio is playing amazing basketball right now, he really coming into his own. If people not paying attention to him down there in Utah, boy, you're missing a good point guard playing the game right now. But I really like Minnesota from the standpoint of they can match up. You got Jimmy Butler and Klay Thompson. We good there. I really like an advantage Jimmy Butler there. You got Anthony Davis. I mean, I'm sorry, Andrew Wiggins, Carl Anthony Towns, Muhammad. Like they have a formidable team to just match up player for player. um, in that series. San Antonio is good. It is talented as Kawhi Leonard is, LaMarcus Aldridge playing at a high level, but we know what there's going to be when the time comes. Kawhi going to show up. Manu going to try to bail him out. Tony Parker leg is going to be old. That's just what's going to happen to them when we see them. And the other team, the team which I really agree with Courtney, that is the real threat,
Marcus
is
is
the Oklahoma
trash.
City Thunder, is because they got the MVP, they got Paul George, and they got Carmelo Anthony. And if they play the game the right way, they can be in the game at the end. And that's all you can ask for is be there
Okay,
for the matter.
okay. Well, and I see Jeremy over there chomping at the bit. He can't wait to get some. I'm surprised both of y'all said OKC blueprint. Who's the actual threat if it's not Houston?
I have to agree with with definitely with the OKC because if you talk about if OKC's what if we just say the playoffs started today, the first matchup would be Houston versus OKC.
Hold up, hold up. Are we talking about the OKC team that just went 3 overtime process? Are we talking about that?
See, but I think I don't. Yeah, and I think you know what I'm not gonna buy too much into them going into three overtimes because for one they're professional ballers and you know a team could be on just as much as the opposing team.
I mean, but we talking about the
And I just think you know within that game OKC showed hey they got a lot of firepower. And the fact that they got a lot of firepower, Paul George could get off at any time. We know Carmelo Anthony could get off at any time, and we already know when Russell Westbrook have that killer instinct in his eyes, and he's sharing the basketball and playing really well, like the caliber of MVP player that he is. I mean, come on. I mean, why are they not a threat
Well,
to anybody in the
I,
West?
I like where you're going with it. I like where you're going with it, Jeremy. But I only say that they're a threat to Golden State. They're not really a threat to anyone else because they turn the ball over too much. They take too many bad shots. But against Golden State, they just match up with them well. Like the matchups are there for them. Paul George is a
So
good matchup. Roberson is a good matchup defensively. Uh, uh, uh. You got the young boy Grant. He can be versatile for them in a series. You got
are they not a good
guard.
matchup with playing against a Houston team where which I feel as
No,
though they got
no,
the
no.
better
They're,
they
not-
got
they're
the
not.
better.
They're not. They're not going to be a good against Houston team because Houston wants you to play at that kind of pace. And then when you get Russell jacking, you got him. You got them. He's gonna. They need to play in a game that is gonna be kind of close. That you got to execute some kind of way for it to be a game. When they get to going up and down, you don't want to see Oklahoma City just pulling because they don't play that. They don't play that style very well. They don't. You want them to be forced into having to execute. You stand a better chance of getting a win from them in a series than just we just gonna try to outscore you. They ain't gonna win like that because they don't take smart enough shots. At least with Houston, that's
I
a
think they took.
that's a
Well,
design 3 point shot that they take it. Like that is by design.
if you look at the game where the three overtime game, like Carl was just talking, I mean they were really knocking down really good shots. They weren't taking bad shots. They were really good shots. Like
That I don't know what good shots you was talking about. Russell Westbrook was 10 for 33. So
no, no, I'm not talking
Some
about him.
dunks.
He was 10 for 33. I'm talking about Carmelo Anthony took really good shots.
that's it. Don't say Paul
Really
George
good
because
shots.
Carmelo Anthony was the only one who had a good shooting percentage in the
Right.
game.
But they took shots. What I'm saying is when I say take good shots, I mean they take shots that they know are money shots. Shots that they know they hot spots. They get into their hot spots, and when they get hot, they get off.
Yeah,
When
they
they
ain't
get
been
hot
hot.
like that,
They
and
ain't
they
been
hard to
hot,
stop.
and they ain't been off.
But
They
but that's
been off.
but
That's why
that's
they
what we
got.
saying. We saying that's why we saying it in the long run. We talking by the time they hit playoff time. Well, of
Mhm.
course not right now. I mean the team is a.
Time
I
they hit
mean it's a
playoff
baby
time,
right now.
by the time they hit playoff time and they still playing the same way, they're gonna get beat because they just walking up
Of
the court,
course,
playing
they still
iso
playing
ball, and they just pulling. They're not playing basketball. They're just pulling. They're not playing basketball.
Okay, okay. Interesting, interesting. Courtney, you got anything to add
I
on this? Or you feel like the brothers
I'll
is on point?
I'll say this. I'll say this about OKC, having watched them play, having watched what's going on, I like that they're starting to get Steven Adams more involved in the game. Um, I can see that they're trying to figure it out amongst each other. Um, really, to be honest with y'all, I'm going to tell you two things. One, Carmelo Anthony has to rebound more. He's playing the four now. Carmelo Anthony has to dedicate himself to rebounding and kicking out more. Um, the person I'm really disappointed in, though, most out of OKC, amongst Melo taking jump shots, and he need to rebound more because he go through these ups and downs with his shot. He's been doing that the last couple of years as he's starting to fall apart. Um, Paul George ain't attacking the rim. Paul George is, for some odd reason, trying to be a jump shooter, and that's not Paul George at his best. Paul George at his best is a slasher, mid range. He can knock down a three, but I need Paul George to go watch some Tracy McGrady highlights. Attack the rim. He's a jumper. Leap. Go attack the rim. Go be the Swiss Army knife. Go be that Scottie Pippen to Jordan. Go be that versatile two-way player that you are. He's taking a lot of jump shots, and they don't got nothing to do with Russell Westbrook. It's all him. He just pulling. There's no need for him to, like, if he attacked the rim, they're not in triple overtime. Like, there's no guard out there we could think of that was guarding him that should have been able to stop him. I just think Paul George has to do more as far as establishing himself as that superstar player we saw before he broke his leg. This ain't Indiana no more. You don't have to take jump shots to lessen the load on your body. You got body parts. Go be that.
Okay, very interesting. Coming up to our final perspective. So, wow, everybody said a lot. We talked about those threats on the west side. I know we didn't talk about the east side because honestly, I don't see any threats to LeBron's crown on the east side. But coming into that final perspective, Jeremy, talk to me. Cold day. What's on your mind? Final perspective.
Final perspective, definitely, man. I just want to give a shout out to uh everybody who tuned into the luxurious career of Kobe Bryant. Big ups to him. I mean, we saw a legend before our eyes. Um, and I mean, what can you say? Mamba out.
Okay. D. Burt's final perspective.
Well, my final perspective is this. I know everybody is in search for the dark horse team in the Eastern Conference. I think me and Courtney has discussed this team several times. I think we both like this team, but we disagree on how they're gonna get there. But I did notice my main man Jabari Parker has been upgraded to full contact and full play. He's been upgraded to the G League and his rehabilitation process, trying to get him back up to speed. And I think once him and Chris Middleton and Giannis and Thon Maker and John Henson and Eric Bledsoe and Brogdon, when them boys get their chemistry and get their team together, I think Cleveland is gonna be in for a rude awakening when they see them boys all together. And again, thank you, Kobe Bryant, for being the epitome of hard work, giving us the greatest show, and make sure everybody know that Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points, that's still a myth. But what you did against the Toronto Raptors was legendary. We all saw it. Kobe Bryant, Mamba out.
All right, and to end the show off with his final perspective, young and talented, Mr. Denzel Chappelle.
Uh, it's funny as I become the last one to give a final perspective. I'm watching the Kobe and the LeBron Muppet commercial, and it's something. For my final perspective on the Mamba, this is something my main man D Birds he don't like to do this to Kobe Bryant, and I waited this whole show to see if he would do it because he tends to do it to my guy, but he wouldn't do it to his guy. But we not gonna act like Mr. Jellybean Giant Bryant didn't kind of curve his own career into a special way. If we remember correctly, he was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. He forced the trade to the Los Angeles Lakers, so he kind of made his career great. as opposed to going the way he was drafted to and playing a la Eli Manning. But when it's Eli Manning, it's blamed on Archie Manning for making that phone call. But I
Because
ain't
he
never heard my
did.
main man. I never heard my main man Jelly Bean say anything about Mister the original Jelly Bean making that phone call for his son. But we gonna let that slide because he don't like to talk about that, or he acts like he don't know that
I
exists.
did that. What you sound like it's a myth. We know Eli and Archie made the call.
Sir, see, this is the problem. It only sounds like a myth because you don't want to do the research. But he was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets,
We know
and
that.
excuse me, and he was originally supposed to be drafted by the New Jersey Nets, who drafted Kerry Kittles, who at the time was being
Oh, you
coached
talking
by
about that? Yeah, I'm with you
excuse me,
there. I'm with you. I remember that. Talk King Perry
okay,
right out his drawers.
yeah, he was drafted by the Mr. Kerry Kittles, who the coach was the illustrious John Calipari was the coach who originally scouted Kobe Bryant in high school and wanted to draft him, but his daddy said he would refuse to play him. He was drafted to New Jersey. Then the Hornets drafted him, and just miraculously, Mr. Jerry West got a phone call, and all of a sudden, life happened. But I just want to take that shot at my man DB because just like Eli Manning shaped his career, the illustrious Kobe Bryant shaped his too because he could have clearly went to Charlotte and tried to be as great as he was. Either way, shout out to the Mamba. You got two jerseys retired. You the first to do it right in between Chick Hearns, who called plenty of your great games. Shout out to you. Amazing career. Shout out for making sure that you went to the right organization as well. Mamba out.
I guess my final perspective has to be said about being an organization. You think about all of those quarterbacks, around, all of those players on the wrong.
We can't hear you, Irv. We can't hear you. Say that again.
I said, you think about all of those quarterbacks that ended up on the Browns. I know that's a different sport, but it's certainly something that just doesn't do right by that players. And we got to take our hats off to the LA Lakers, who continuously build legends throughout the history of their team. And just shout out to those strong organizations, those strong executives like the Jerry West out there that continuously put together strong and good teams. It's something to be said about that. It's something to be said about coaching. It's something to be said about a strong organization as well. Once again, world, you was watching Fresh Perspective. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like button, hit the follow button, tell a friend. Hey, peace and blessings, and Mamba out.